Hello, welcome to Hank's Maker Mentor. This past week has been filled with a whole lot going on in the Cricut world. They released the announcement of only 20 free uploads per month if you didn't have a Cricut Access subscription. They then modified that and said that anyone who had a account and machine before the end of 2021 would be grandfathered in. Yesterday, they released an update with the new features that they talked about in the original email. These are two features that people have been waiting for a long time: offset and collections, and the ability to organize. So let's go into Design Space and we'll show you how those work and what you can do with them now that they're part of Design Space instead of something you have to do outside of Design Space. So we're going to start by opening up Design Space. And it shows that I was on 6.5.95 and it's going to download the update. This will take a different amount of time depending on your internet, and it'll go through and install. So this is the what's new. It is a feature from a previous update that explains what the big new features are in the update. So here in 6.6, it's project collections and offset. They give you a little bit of a summary to let you know what those are. Project collections easily organize your projects into custom collections so you can quickly find what you want when you want it. Create up to 5 unique titles, or with a Cricut Access plan, create as many as you need. And then offset is make your designs pop with a new layer that replicates a shape, text, or group of objects. Offset is available on Windows 10, 64-bit, and macOS 10.13 and later. So once you've read it and you're happy, you can click Done, and I'm going to go into a new project. At this time, Offset is only available on the desktop software, and you do have to have Windows 10, 64-bit or higher, and then macOS 10.13 or 1.5 and higher. The What's New window showed 10.13 and higher. The Cricut.com article shows macOS 10.15 and higher. So I don't know if you're at 10.13 if it will work. So here on the canvas, you can see it's grayed out up here for offset. So I'm going to start by typing in some text. We'll just write offset for now. I'm going to change to a nicer font though. So I'm going to make it nice and big, easy to see. So I can do my normal things. I can change my style, my size, my spacing, my alignment. I can curve it and do my advanced features, but we're going to go into offset. So I'm going to click on offset, and it shows us here, there's this little blue line that shows where the offset will be. You can use the slider to increase or decrease that. If you're having trouble getting what you want quite with the slider, you can go ahead and type in a number as well. The maximum offset will be 1, but if I want 0.8, I can just type it in and it'll do that automatically. I can also choose what kind of corners I want. So do I want these rounded corners or do I want very angular corners? So you can kind of mess around and see which one. I notice on the angular ones, on some letters, it does some weird things, and on the rounded corners, on different letters, it does weird things. So you will have to kind of work around that. It has the beta tag because they're still working on optimizing the feature for complex images. So this should work really great on something simple that is a closed path. So there's not a clear start and stop point like there is on like a line. And as it being a beta feature, as more people use it, they can see how it's doing and they can make improvements. You also have this option called Weld Offsets. It is clicked automatically, but you can unselect it. I'm going to leave it for now, and I'm going to click Apply. And you'll see it did do a weird section right there. You'd have to go in and probably fix that manually. These don't automatically group together. So while they're still ungrouped, we're going to go ahead and just adjust that real quick. And the way I'm going to do it, and I'm sure there's lots of different ways, is I'm going to just put a shape in a circle because I'm using mostly rounded edges, and I'm going to line it up here as best I can. There we go. And then I'm going to select my offset and that circle, and I'm going to weld them together. So then I can take these and I can center them. I'm going to send my offset to the back by going to Arrange, Send to Back. And then I have my two layers. So if I want these together while I'm working in Design Space, I can group them. So let's take a look at doing some other things with offset. For this next example, I typed in the word congrats and I put in 3 stars, 2 yellow and 1 purple. And we're going to do a multi-layered offset design with these. So I can take this whole thing, select it, and then select offset. And I can do the same idea of adjust it the way I want. We're going to try typing in 0.25. See how that looks. I think I like it. Let's try it with angular corners. We've got those. I definitely, for this one, I like the softer corners a little bit better. But I think I am going to make the offset just a little bit bigger. So that way it kind of fills up the gap that was there. So this is where weld offset becomes applicable. So I'm going to do one without welding it and click apply. And then I'm going to take my same design. I'm going to select the words, scroll down, hold control, and select 1 star, the other, and then the third. And then I'm going to go Control C, Control V to duplicate that. And then we're going to do another offset on this one so you can see the difference. So you'll see it designed there. Then if I go weld offsets, you'll see that it's one solid piece. So whereas up here, each of these little sections of offset are their own piece, this is one solid piece. So depending on what you're looking for, it might be useful to weld it, it might be useful to have it unwelded. Now, can you come in here after the fact and adjust this? No, you can create an offset for your offset, which is cool if you want to do multiple layers, but you can't adjust your offset. So because it is fairly simple to do it, you just go back in and do it again, kind of like welding. You can't undo a weld unless you click the undo button right after you do it. So that is something you are going to want to keep in mind. If I was doing this for a print and cut file, I would want to come in here to change my colors. So my offset, if I was doing a sticker, I'd do it as white. And then I can change my other colors to whatever I want them to be. For now, I'm just going to leave them. But you'll see that they're not connected at all. So I would take all of them and go ahead and click flatten. So now they are a print and cut file. You can unflatten if you do want to move things around. When you're working with designs and you just want an offset that's small but still there, like if this one I type in 0.125, I get my offset around the edges, but then it also shows up in the middle. And so I'm going to click apply. So to get rid of these gaps in the center, you're going to need to use the contour feature. So make sure you've got your offset selected, then come down to the bottom and you'll have the contour feature. So I'm going to click on that and it'll bring it up here. And then you can go through and you can deselect all of the gaps And now I have just the outline instead of the gaps on the inside. If I decided, oh wait, I liked some of those, I can go back into contour and I can bring them back. So if I was like, oh, I like these ones on the outside, I can do that, or I can adjust them however works best for the design I'm working on. So if you run into weird gaps in your offset, contour is what you're going to need. Unless in our first example, like the text, it's not totally wrapped around where you've got offset on all the sides, in which case then you'll need to weld in a shape or just try it again and change your settings of it. Now that we have our offsets created, we're going to go ahead and save this file, which will show you the new save feature. So I can do my title, and I'm going to call it offsets example, and I can save it to collections. I don't have any yet because I wanted to show you how to do it. So I'm going to click on new collection, and you've got 25 characters to type in for the name of your collection, and I'm going to type in YouTube videos. So I know for my example ones where to find them. I'm going to click create, and then I can choose to save it to those collections or none of them. It'll show me what collections I have available. I can select that. I can also create another new collection right here, and I can say Celtic. Create that one. And I can save it to both or just one. It's really up to what I want. So then I'm going to go ahead and click save. So we've saved that. We're going to go into my projects, and you'll see for all my projects, it breaks it up into collections as well. So I can click on my Celtic one and it'll show me that. I can also create a new project from here. So if I come in here into collections and I create new, so I'm going to type in USS Phoenix and click create. So now I have a new one and I don't have anything saved in it yet. I can rename my collections by clicking on the little pencil that shows up next to it, and I can delete them there. It does ask me if I'm sure I want to remove it and that all the projects in the collection will still be in your My Projects and other collections that include them. I don't want to actually remove this one, so I'm going to go ahead and click cancel. And then I'm going to go click on all my projects. So then I can go ahead and click organize, and I'm going to grab my USS Phoenix ones. There are a whole bunch of them. And I'm going to click next, and I can select collections for these 10 projects I did. So I'm going to go ahead and add them to my USS Phoenix one and click done. And now when I'm looking for those particular ones, I can come in here and I can find them quickly. There is supposed to be a way when you click organize that you can remove projects, but if I select them and then I go next, it says to deselect to remove, but that's not an option here, so that is a bug that I will have to make sure I report. You can add projects into collections in a group like I used organize for, but I can also come in here, find my project, click on the three dots here and say edit collections, and then select that I want to add it to that USS Phoenix collection as well, and click done. So I am here in my Celtic collection and I put in this design that doesn't actually belong here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the three dots, click on edit collections, and then select the Celtic box. Here I can move it to other ones if I want to at the time, but I'm just going to take it out and select done. As a Cricut Access subscriber, you can have an unlimited number of collections while you maintain your Cricut Access membership. If you are not a Cricut Access subscriber, you can have 5 collections. If you are a Cricut Access subscriber and then you cancel Cricut Access, you will then lose your collections except for the 5 most populated ones. So your 5 collections that each have the most files in them, those ones you will keep. The rest of them, The projects will just be found in my projects and they will no longer be sorted into collections as well. If you are one of those people that has a Cricut Access subscription plan on and off, you will go from the 5 collections when you do not have your active subscription to an unlimited amount when you have your subscription. When you cancel, you go back to the 5. When you resubscribe, you will reactivate all your previous collections. So that's something to keep in mind. It sounds like you won't have to start from scratch reorganizing, that you'll be able to just start from where you were. So here in Design Space, it lets you know how many projects you have in each collection. The maximum number you can have in a collection is 1,000. So that's a lot of projects. If you are not happy with the order of your collections in here, you can't manually drag them or anything to select what order. Right now, they're only organized alphabetically. But let's say you want the one at the top to be the one that you find the easiest. Let me show you a quick workaround of how you would do that. So when you are looking at your collections, you can rename them. So I'm going to click on the pencil and then I can rename it. So right now it's YouTube videos, but if I do it as a YouTube videos and click rename, now that one will be at the top and it'll be the first one that comes up. It depends on what order you need them in. I think renaming them this way would be most useful if you do have an unlimited number of collections and let's say you want to access your winter collection the very most. Well, that would be at the very, very bottom, but if you do it as a winter, it'll be up at the top and easiest to access as you are going through your projects. I hope it was helpful to see how those new features of offset and collections work in Design Space now that we are in Design Space 6.6. If you have any questions about how these work or if you want more details, go ahead and let me know in the comments below. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I'm so glad you've joined me today. And until next time, bye.